السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. شيخنا أحسن الله إليك.
أمين وإياكم أبا عامر. How are you?
Listen.
Can we go on? We are already late in class.
نعم شيخنا.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد, in continuation of our book Al-Adab Al-Mufrad by Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri rahimahullah, yesterday the discourse was about Islāḥul Manāzil, Islāḥul Mathawi, rectifying, cleaning, renovating, repairing our places of stay, whether our homes or our offices or our rooms or our compound, wherever we stay, rectifying, repairing, renovating, and having them clean, all fall under Islah. And Al-Manzil is wherever a person stays, like Maswa, wherever you stay, wherever you sit down for some time, where you sleep, like our beds. They can be considered also as from our Masawi. So wherever you stay for some time during the day, that place can be referred to as a Maswa. So our homes are Masawi, Manazil. Our offices, our rooms, our compound, places where we sit down or stay for some time. And that stay becomes regular over the time. Then that place can be referred to as a maswa. Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri had cited a narration from Umar ibn al-Khattab that we have found to have corroborating reports from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, that he said to the people, or Umar radiallahu anhu would always say to the people, Ya ayyuhan nas, aslihu alaykum mathawikum. O people, aslihu alaykum mathawikum. Rectify, repair, renovate, clean up your places of stay. Then he said, radiallahu anhu, وَأَخِيفُوا هَذِهِ الْجِنَّانِ قَبْلَ أَن تُخِيفَكُمْ. So go after these snakes. Go after the snakes that come. Alhamdulillah. The snakes that come, we find in homes. Some of the scholars say the reason why Umar ibn al-Khattab mentioned the snakes while talking about cleaning in the homes is that by the time you clean the cluttered areas in the house, you may find a reptile or something like that hiding somewhere in the houses. أخيفوا هذه الجنان قبل أن تخيفكم. Go after these snakes. Go after them. Kill them. أخيفوا هذه الجنان. Go after them. Become a means of threat to them. قبل أن تخيفكم. Before they become a means of threat and danger to you if you don't go after the snakes and the like of that. Even though the snake was mentioned, it doesn't mean that from the things that bring inconvenience to a man in his house, from the things that creep into the house are snakes alone. But snakes are very common. They just come one way or the other. They get into the house. May Allah protect all of us. Akhifu hadhihi al-jinnan. Go after them, kill them, handle them properly and get them out of the homes. Qabla an tukhifakum. Before they become a means of danger to you at home. May Allah protect all of us. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَبْدُوَ لَكُمْ مُسْلِمُوهَا. Because those who are Muslims amongst those snakes, we explained yesterday, how can snakes be Muslims? Snakes can be Muslims when you have jinns coming in the form of snakes, and jinns transform into the forms that they desire. They can come as a horse. They can come as a spider. What's it called? The scorpion. They can come as a scorpion. In fact, they can come as a dog. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, in his view rahimahullah, which is based upon good knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah and the daily occurrences, he said, when you see the black dog, the black horse that does not have any other thing, and the black cat, nothing on it except black, he said the most probable thing is that that cat or that dog or that horse is what? Is a jinn. Now the jinn may be a Muslim, it may be other than a Muslim, because Allah made us understand that there were some of them, وَإِنَّ مِنَّا مُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَّا دُونَ ذَلِكَ كُنَّا طَرَائِقَ كِدَدًا. Allah mentioned that to us in Qul Uhiya, Surah Al-Jinn, that they say, مِنَّا الْمُسْلِمُونَ. So for some of us, there are qasitun. Some of them are very sinful ones. Some of them are Muslims, fair ones, good Muslims. There are a lot of ahadith on these two. So they said at the end of it, kunna tara'iqa kidada. They occur in the various sections of human beings. The way you see human beings in various aspects, there are tall, short, long, fat, slim. There are good, there are bad, there are middle, there are various groups of human beings are also found amongst the jinns. But they have one thing we human beings don't have. They can transform into the forms that they desire. A jinn can transform to become like a human being. It's a jinn, you are looking at it, but it's a human being. So they can transform. That is the point that we seek to make here. And from the things that the jinns can transform into are what? Snakes. So they can transform into snakes. So these ones who are Muslims amongst them, when they transform into snakes, you will not recognize them. You will not know them. Even though the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam gave us a hint how to recognize those ones, is by saying to them to leave the homes. It used to happen like that when they were in Medina. And many other people have written about things like this. We tell it to leave the homes. Even though some people say they have kinds, there is a way they look. Those ones that are jinns, Muslims who transform into snakes, they have a peculiar look, different from others. Because the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned some kind of snakes, a very short snake. Yes, there are very, very short snakes, not more than the length of a palm. Yes, the Messenger ﷺ encouraged us to kill them immediately, and others too. So I think that peculiarity may not be easily recognized by everybody. So just make sure you get the snakes out of your house. Wa inna wallahi, because we human beings, Umar radiallahu anhu swore by Allah regarding what he wanted to say. He said, Ma sa'alamnahum munzu adaynahum. We have not made peace with them since we went to war with them, since we went into a quarrel with them, since we began to become uncomfortable with snakes. And that one is part of the human nature. Part of what Allah has created human beings with is that we are ever uncomfortable with snakes. Likewise, snakes are also uncomfortable with humans. So these natural instincts with the two of us, the human beings on one hand and the snakes on one hand, since Allah created us like that, we have not made peace. Human beings have not had to prefer to have snakes amongst them. Except, of course, those human beings who have perverted instincts. Human beings with, yes, we have human beings with perverted instincts. Instincts that now become perverted. That was not how they were originally. But they got themselves into that. An example of that are human beings, generally speaking, human beings, males who will prefer to have private dealings with fellow males. These are males of perverted. When we were younger than this, these things used to be taught to us as sexual deviations, even though the world is mentioning it now as something that is normal. It used to be taught as something that has to do with mental derailment. So you find people are derailed mentally. They see the sun as black in the afternoon. If someone comes out and say the sun is black, then we know that the person is suffering from some mental derailment. Of course, this is what Islam also teaches us. So, because Islam makes you see things as they are. So if people are comfortable with snakes, moving about on around with snakes, we know that they have either mental derailment or they have genes with them that transform into snakes so that they become a means of deceiving the rest of the people who look at them to have supernatural powers. You can see a person playing with a snake. That snake can be a gene that transformed into a snake so that together with that one amongst the human beings, they can both deceive the rest of the foolish and unsuspecting onlookers. Because it is the ignorant one who is unsuspecting that falls for things like that. Now, because a man plays with snakes, so what does that do? What does that make him? It doesn't make him any other than being a fortune teller, a magician, someone who plays with something that he should not play with. So he's playing with snakes, handling snakes, going about with snakes itself. It's evidence that he has a perverted instinct. He has a derailed instinct. He is misguided and misled in his instincts. Otherwise, the basic natural instinct for all of us that shows that the individual is balanced is that when he finds a snake, he's uncomfortable. The same thing applicable to the snakes. When they see human beings, they become uncomfortable. They want to run away or they want to harm him. So the human beings too, he wants to keep away or he wants to go after the snake so that he removes that danger from himself. So this is the normal human being. Now, since Allah created us to be uncomfortable with snakes, He also made snakes to be uncomfortable with human beings. Then we have not come back to peace, no reconciliation. That is how the two of us will be. So a Muslim should go after the snakes. Don't be afraid of them. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he told us clearly about that. He said alayhi salatu wasalam, Man taraka shay'an minhunna khifatan falaysa minna. The one who leaves any one of them, any one of these snakes, khifatan, out of fear. The reason the Muslim ran away was out of fear. Not that, oh no, let me leave so that the snake can go away. Or let me run after the snake to kill it and remove a danger from me. The reason why the Muslim left and ran away from the snake, more so inside his house, is that he is afraid of him. If a Muslim does like this, falaysa minna, he is not upon our sunnah. Our sunnah as Muslims is that we remove the threats from our homes. We remove the means of danger. So if you cannot do it alone, yes, you can invite others, and together you do it and expel that danger from your home. Danger must be expelled from the homes. May Allah protect each and every one of us. So it is not appropriate for a Muslim to run away out of fear. I like to quickly point out three things before we go to the next hadith today. The first thing I like to point out is that when we talk about sunnah, it is more than wearing the jilbab. It is more than wearing a beard. It is more than wearing a cap. It is more than having our trousers above our ankles. All these are established from the sunnah, but the sunnah is not restricted to them. The sunnah is not restricted to them. The sunnah has to do with every aspect of the life of a Muslim. Everything. How he wakes up in the morning, what he says when he wakes up, the first thing that he does when he wakes up, the first thing that he says when he wakes up. When he has a nightmare, what does he say? When he has a dream that he is comfortable with, what does he say? How does he start the day? What does he do? How does he use the toilet when he goes to ease himself? What does he say before he enters the toilet? How does he position himself when in the toilet? When he comes out of the toilet, what does he say? What are the things that he does? All of these, all the aspects of the life of a Muslim are under the sunnah. And that's why you would not see it appropriate for anyone to condemn the sunnah, because you are condemning the entirety of the life of a Muslim. When you say as-sunnah, sunnah is more than merely the jalbab. The jalbab is just one thing in the sunnah. The face veil, the niqab, is just one thing in the sunnah. The headgear is the turban, is just one thing in the sunnah. The beard, one thing in the sunnah. It's not all about the sunnah. So that a person does all of these does not mean that he is fully and entirely a person of the sunnah. How about the rest of his life and how he is compliant with these aspects of life? The second point I like to point out, inshallah, before we move to the next hadith, is that you shouldn't, or we shouldn't, find a person of sunnah having an unkept home. From the sunnah is that your home must be clean. From the sunnah is that what? Our houses must be clean. We ourselves must be clean. Our rooms must be clean. So when some people go dirty, they don't have their bath regularly, they don't take care of themselves and their looks, they are careless about their looks, their heads are disheveled, their beards are disheveled, not properly taken care of, the clothes are dirty and smelling. Yes, we have these kinds of conditions. Some women too, their jalabib smell a lot. They work with it in the kitchen, and at the end of the day, they don't keep it clean. They come to the public tomorrow with it, with the jilbab that has already been used in the day before. You find all these kinds of lifestyle with people. And a lot of people complain about how some of the people who are upon the sunnah or who only ascribe to the sunnah, they show very dirty and unkempt dispositions. This is not part of the sunnah. They are the ones that are failing in that aspect of life. If you find a person upon the sunnah dirty, his houses are dirty, even his car that he rides, always you find it dirty inside, dirty outside. This dirty lifestyle is not from the sunnah. This dirty lifestyle is not from the sunnah. As for the sunnah, what it teaches us is to be clean, to keep ourselves clean, keep our environment clean, keep our homes clean, keep our conduct itself clean. Everything about us should be clean. This hadith we have studied is also an evidence for that a person should not ascribe to sunnah and then we find out that the bulk of his lifestyle is filled with filth and dirtiness, as our physical self or as our minds, our souls must be kept clean with tawheed, and then we abstain from nifaq, because when you bring nifaq, it's a death on the soul. So the soul itself, the mind itself must be kept clean from also shirk. Shirk is death upon the soul. The same thing, other things like al-hasad, jealousy, like al-bughd, hatred. These are deaths for the soul. The same thing, you have deaths for the body. such as being dirty and keeping untidy and unclean. For the sake of Allah, we all should watch it. We should keep clean. Keeping clean itself is part of the sunnah. When you sweep your homes, when you sweep your room, when you keep your room tidy, keep it in mind that you are following the sunnah. The first point we mentioned was about the fact that the sunnah is very wide and it includes all parts of the life of the Muslim. The second point we just highlighted now is that a person should not be upon the sunnah and think that the sunnah encourages him to be a dirty and unkept person in himself and in the environment where they stay. Of course, the self is part of your body, your look, and then your mind. As your mind must be clean, your physical outlook too must be clean. You must take care of your outlook. The third thing I quickly like to mention about this is that we Muslims are a people that have always been encouraged to fear Allah. Fearing Allah is so important, and not fearing other things apart from who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the things we should not be afraid of are snakes. Don't be afraid of a snake. The Arabs, some of the scholars or one of the scholars described this matter. He said the reason why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam condemned it and warned us not to be not to find a snake in a place where it is dangerous to us, and we don't make good, genuine attempts to expel it from our homes because of fear. He said the Arabs have, before Islam, they have a thinking, they have a belief that every snake has a jinn that goes along with it. Arabs had a belief. Every snake has a jinn that moves along with it. If you kill the snake, the jinn that moves along with that snake will come and kill the person who kills the snake. So they are afraid of snakes. So that's why the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that there is no one amongst us. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, man taraka shay'an minhunna khifatan falaysa minna. The fear Arabs used to have is that if you kill a snake, it has a jinn. The jinn will come and kill the person who has killed the snake. Look at how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam closed that door to a bad belief. That's why I say it's not part of us. We don't have that kind of a belief. Snakes are snakes. And even if it be a shaitan, we say, go away. Just kill it. Kill it. Don't be a lily-livered human being. Yes, the Muslim is not a lily-livered person. Lily-livered, he can't go after anything. Everything, he is afraid of everything. She's afraid of everything. Some women run away when they see red ants. They can become something else just because of a red ant. Let us stop all these kinds of attitude. The Muslim who fears Allah is a person of confidence. You don't start running away. Some people see wild gecko, and killing the wild gecko is part of the sunnah too. The lesser the number of beats you employ to kill it, the better. If you beat it once, you have a bigger reward. If you beat it twice before you kill it, the reward is lesser. If you beat it 3 times before you kill it, wild gecko, I mean. Some women become stupefied. They start shouting, what is it? You saw a wild gecko. Wild gecko. Al-Wazan. Wild gecko. Red ants, even red ants, red small ants. People are afraid of it. When they see it, they start shouting, oh, subhanallah. Don't be like that. Islam does not like us to be like that. Is it the one who is afraid of a red ant that will go after a snake? So we should be bold. We should be people not afraid of things that we shouldn't be afraid of. And we should take precautions at all times. The instruction to kill the snake itself is that so that the snake does not become dangerous to us. If you find that it is dangerous for you to be able to kill it, look for help. The reason why you are asked to kill it is that so that it does not become a danger to you. So if killing it itself is dangerous to you, then get people who will help you. And then you kill it. But you must expel it from your home. Expel that danger from your home. May Allah protect each and every one of us. Make us better Muslims. Make us grow in Iman by the day. And by the time that we shall meet him, may Allah make us from those that He had forgiven their sins. I think it is convenient for us at this stage to move to the next hadith. The next hadith comes under the chapter Babun Nafaqati fil Bina. Babun an-Nafaqatu fil Bina, or Babun Nafaqati fil Bina. The chapter about the an-Nafaqa, the expenses you make when you make a building. What ruling do they have? You're spending on building, construction. Because now we've spoken about renovating the house. It's from the Sunnah. We spoke about keeping the house clean. It's from the Sunnah. We spoke about repairing bad places in the home. It is from the Sunnah. So keep it in mind when you are doing that in your house, that you are also practicing Sunnah. So now that brings expenses. So those kinds of expenses are of course encouraged. You'll be rewarded for those expenses. If you spend money to repair something in your house, that's nafaqah al-bina. You'll be rewarded for it. In the expenses you make over your buildings, you'll be rewarded for it. You build a house for you, for your wives, for your children, all of you to stay there. Yes. You have a reward for them. Allah will reward you for that expenses. Please keep it in mind when you build houses. You are not building a house because you want to show off to anybody. You are building a house because you want to keep yourself and your family inside it. And as an act of worship for Allah, then Allah will reward you. Allah will reward you for every kobo you spend for building that house, or for repairing that house, or for renovating the house, or for repainting the house, or for repairing spoiled things in the house. That expenses you make, Allah will reward you. It is sadaqah for you. You will earn rewards for it. You will earn honor in the front of Allah because of those things. So, but there are also expenses people make that will not bring them rewards. What kinds of expenses are those? The ulama explain that the buildings that become unnecessary. You build a house unnecessary. A man has a wife and a child, and he builds a 10-bedroom duplex, and he does not intend to bring friends or relatives into the house, just himself and his one wife and his one son will live in the house. These kinds of expanse building now becomes unnecessary. No one of them can sleep in a single room, in two rooms in one night. You can't sleep in two rooms together at the same time during one night. But these are 10 rooms. There are perhaps 20 sitting rooms, 50 this, 50 that. You are not bringing friends into it. It's just for yourself. You just want to spend the money. You just want to blow up the money. You just want to squander the money. Maybe so that people can see you and praise you. So that people can see you and like to be like you. Or people can praise you on social media. Expenses like this are not rewarded by Allah. They are not rewarded. Because those things were not done for His sake. They were done to show off. Allah will not reward you for showing off. They were done for wastage. Allah will not reward you for what you have wasted. Or like someone builds a house in every state of the country. And he doesn't go to every state of the country. He only wants to be able to say, hey, I have built houses everywhere in the 36 states or 37 states of Nigeria. I have big houses there. That is just for the reason why he has built the house. It has no need for them. These kinds of expenses on buildings does not have any money. He doesn't even rent it out. For all the 36 buildings in the 36 GRAs in the 36 states of the country and FCT 37 if you like. He has employed security and people who maintain the house, even though he himself would reside in the UK or US or UAE. He's resident in UAE. He's resident in Dubai. is resident in the UK, London, or France, and he has 36 houses in the 36 states of the country. He does not have a relative who is living in any of these houses. He just wants to be able to say, I have 36 houses in 36 states of the country. These kinds of buildings, Allah will not reward him for it. He's not even building them to make money. They say, okay, he builds them, he rents them out so that he can make money. It is not for this reason. It is just for the reason of being praised, being able to say, I have this, that stuff. And then he begins to spend to maintain those homes. He furnishes them, builds them, and furnishes them with state-of-the-art furniture just to spend the money, to blow up the money, to squander the money. No relative inside, no friend, no rent. So, and then he doesn't even reside in any of them. Maybe the bulk of his businesses are outside the country. These kinds of expenses on buildings are not rewarded by Allah subhanahu. This is what we are discussing under this chapter heading. An-nafaqatu fil bina. The expenses we make regarding buildings, are they rewarded? The expenses you make regarding the building where you live, you are rewarded. If you build it newly, you are rewarded. If you build it, you are repairing it, you are rebuilding it, you are reconstructing. Oh, it has a problem, it has this issue, plumbing, electricity issues, and all of this. You are rewarded. But those ones that we have described, they have no rewards because they have not been done for any reason that Allah supports. You have not done it to keep a relative. You have not done it to keep a family. You have not done it for rent to even make money. So it will come from the aspects of blowing up wealth and squandering wealth. So this is what we are discussing under this chapter with Hadith 447. Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri said, Rahimahullah, حدثنا عبد الله بن موسى عن إسرائيل عن أبي إسحاق عن حارثة ابن مضرب عن خباب قال إن الرجل لا يؤجر في كل شيء إلا البناء إن الرجل لا يؤجر في كل شيء إلا البناء. Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri took this hadith from Ash-Shaykh Abdullah ibn Musa. Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri has a Shaykh. He is Abu Muhammad Al-Kufi. His name is Abdullah and his father's name is Musa. Abu Muhammad Al-Kufi. Abdullah ibn Musa is from the shuyukh of Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri, and Al-Imām Al-Bukhāri has taken this athar from him. He is reporting from a grandchild who is the child of a scholar, the scholar who is also the child of another scholar, Ismā'īl ibn Yunus ibn Abi Ishaq al-Sabi'i. Ismā'īl ibn Yunus. Ismā'īl, he is Ibn Yunus. His father Yunus was a scholar. Ismā'īl was a scholar. The father of Yunus, his name was what? Amr ibn Abdullah. But he is widely called Abu Ishaq al-Sabi'i, rahimahullah, from amongst the scholars. And Ismā'īl here is reporting from his grandfather, Abu Ishaq al-Sabi'i. Ismā'īl ibn Yunus ibn Abi Ishaq al-Sabi'i is reporting from who? His grandfather. His grandfather was a well-known scholar from amongst the Tabi'un. He is reporting from who? From one of the students of Khabbab ibn al-Arab, that companion of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu salam. We are coming back to that. He has a student. His name was what? Haritha ibn Mudarrib. Harithatu ibn Mudarrib is the student of who? Khabbab ibn al-Arad. And Abu Ishaq al-Sabi'i is reporting from Haritha. Abu Ishaq al-Sabi'i, Amr ibn Abdullah al-Sabi'i al-Kufi is reporting from who? Haritha. Haritha is reporting from who? Khabbab ibn al-Arad. And Ismā'īl is reporting from his grandfather. It's very common amongst the scholars of Hadith. Riwayatu al-Ahfad and al-Ajdad. Riwayatul Akhbar, the reports of the grandchildren from who? From their grandfather. Israel here is a grandchild, and he is reporting from his grandfather. He doesn't just report from Abu Ishaq as-Sabi'i, his grandfather. He is one of the most reliable persons that reports from Abu Ishaq as-Sabi'i. From the most reliable person. If you want to know whether the report is authentic, one of the ways to know is, has it been reported from him by his grandchild Israel? If it has, then you should depend on it. There are other matters connected to reporting a hadith from Abu Ishaq, but this is just one of them. One of the things that show reliance for the reports of Abu Ishaq is that they are from the hadith of who? Israel ibn Yunus ibn Abi Ishaq as-Sabi, rahimahullah. So Mudarrib Harifatu ibn Mudarribin is reporting from Khabbab. We remember Khabbab ibn al-Arat, one of those who was very severely punished in Makkah at the beginning of the message of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was from the Al-Muhajirun al-Awwalun. When Allah says, As-Sabiqun al-Awwalun min al-Muhajirin wal-Ansar. As-Sabiqun al-Awwalun. From amongst them was who? Khabbab ibn al-Arat. He was very severely punished when Islam started. And he took part in all the battles of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. He took part in the Battle of Badr. He took part in the Battle of Uhud, Khandaq, all the battles, Al-Mashahad, Kullah, all of them. Khabbab ibn al-Arat took part in all the battles that the Prophet engaged in against the non-Muslims. Alayhi salatu wasalam. Abu Abdullah Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiyallahu anhu. He said, Inna ar-rajula la yu'jaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. If we look at his statements, Inna ar-rajula, certainly the individual, la yu'jaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. He'll be rewarded regarding every expenses that you make. Every expenses that you make. If you feed your family, you'll be rewarded for it. You pay the school fees of your children, you'll be rewarded for it. You buy clothes for your wives and your children, you'll be rewarded for it. Even when you feed yourself, you'll be rewarded for it. Just have the intention that you are doing it for the sake of Allah. You are not doing it to show off. You are not buying those clothes and jilbab for your children because you want them to show off. No. You are doing it because you are fulfilling the responsibilities of a father. You are fulfilling a major responsibility. And because of that, Allah will reward you. If this is your intention, Allah will reward you. So he said, radiyallahu anhu, Inna ar-rajula la yu'jaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. Yu'jaru fi kulli shay'. The individual is rewarded regarding all his expenses. Every expenses that you make it for the sake of Allah so that you gain rewards. You extend help to the members of your family, you'll be rewarded for it. Whatever you do, for the sake of Allah, you did it for the sake of Allah. You'll be rewarded for it. You help someone achieve a goal, especially the goals of the religion, directly. Most times people like to extend help to the people. Yes, good, very good too. But those are better than them. There are those that are better. And no one leaves something better for something good. Everyone likes to get the better and the better. Which insists man spends on his wives, he spends on his children, he spends on his relatives, he spends on his parents, he spends on everybody. Whatever you spend, you get rewarded for it. Illa al-bina. Except the expenses you make upon buildings. The scholars say not all the buildings. If you look at other reports, other hadiths, we understand that what he means here are those expenses on those buildings that we build unnecessarily. Those expenses we spend on the building unnecessarily. The man goes, he went out, he has a POP in his house already that was made by a company from Cotonou. They say that people from Cotonou are very good at POP making. Or he even imports a company from Dubai or from Italy to make a POP. They made the POP very beautifully made. And then he travels, he returns, he saw a POP in another country, maybe in Australia. He considers it more beautiful than the one that he made. He comes back into the house. He destroys that one that he has made. He invites another company, and then they make another POP because he saw one POP in Australia. No problems, no failures, no weakness, no rain infiltration, nothing. All that he desires is, I want to do it again. I saw a more beautiful one. These kinds of expenses are spurious. For the sake of Allah, let's not give these kinds of expenses because it will not be rewarded by Allah. But if the one that he had had before, though that one had a weakness, it had rain infiltration, or it had other issues technically, and or it became weak, or something like this, or some parts of it failed, requiring that the entirety of the POP is brought down, then you can do that and then now bring a company from Australia to suit what you want. But just for the sake of it, the individual goes on to break homes, destroy parts of the homes, just to rebuild it. For what reason? For no reason. I don't like this place to look like this. Now I want it to look like this. Please, is there any reason connected to that? No reason. I just want it like that. Don't be this kind of a person. Don't be this kind of a person. So Khabbab ibn al-Arad said, radiyallahu anhu, inna ar-rajula la yu'jaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. The individual will be rewarded regarding everything except the expenses he makes on buildings. Either the building itself is not necessary or the expenses itself is not necessary. It's either the building itself is not necessary. We have explained a bit of that. Or that the expenses itself or the reconstruction itself is not necessary. So it becomes from the things of extravagance and squandering wealth. May Allah protect us. The last thing I quickly like to mention about this affair before we go to the next chapter heading is that yes, it's a statement from Khabbab ibn al-Arat. But it is not a statement that he could have made from his own personal opinion. لَيْسَ مِمَّا يُقَالُ بِالرَّأِيِ. He is talking about rewards. You don't talk about a person being rewarded from mujarrad al-ra'i. So he's not talking about his personal opinion. So this hadith, even though it is mawqufun and Khabbab ibn al-Arad, it has a ruling of khabarun marfu'. It has a ruling of a statement from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He is speaking out of an information he has from the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam that in rajla la yujaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. The individual will be rewarded regarding everything that he does except the money that he places in building structures that are unnecessary or renovating unnecessarily, repainting unnecessarily, changing things in the house without any sort of a necessity for them. Those kinds of expenditures will not be rewarded by Allah. But the ones that he made, he has an extra land and he has a younger brother. He wants to make a supporting building so that his younger brother can stay now, so that his sister can stay, yes, now, so that his mother can stay, okay, now, so that a new wife he's marrying can stay, okay, now, so that he has a relative who can stay there, okay, now, so that he has a son, he wants that son to marry and stay nearby him, okay, or that he even wants to rent it out, okay, all these are praiseworthy purposes. But he wants to improve, expand, repaint, rebuild, renovate. When he's up, what is the reason? No reason. I just like it like that. These are not ventures that are praiseworthy. May Allah protect us. So Khabbab ibn al-Arad said, Inna rajula la yujaru fi kulli shay'in illa al-bina. The individual is rewarded regarding every expenses that he makes, except those ones that he places in building buildings that are unnecessary, or the ones he spends on buildings repairing them, renovating them, and that is unnecessary. We quickly come into the second chapter. Babun amalu rajuli ma'a ummalihi. Babun amalu rajuli ma'a ummalihi. Or Babu amali rajuli ma'a ummalihi. The chapter regarding an individual working together with those who are renovating his house. Yes, there are manners. This, our religion, does not make us live a life of wastage. Everything you do, every time you spend, there's a reward for it. What you spend, everything you spend, you have a reward. Every time you spend, you have a reward. When you spend time, you have rewards. Depending on how you spend that time. When you spend money, you have a reward. Depending on what? How you spend that money. Both time and money. The way you spend them brings you reward. So when it says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fis-silmi kafa, come into Islam completely. It's a complete way of life. Many times we Muslims say, this Islam is a complete way of life. These are the details of the completeness of that way of life you are talking about. Islam is simple. There is no aspect of life. Even how to build a house, it taught us lessons. How to spend our money, it taught us lessons. What to spend money in, it taught us what to spend. How to earn money, we know that one. How not to earn. Here now is talking us about how not to spend. How not to spend. Don't spend like this. If you spend like this, you will not have rewards. Here now it is talking about, now those people who are renovating your house, you have a valid reason to build a house. You have a valid reason to repair your house. You have a valid reason to renovate your house, to expand your house. We have explained it. So can you have a helping hand? Can you help those people? Even if it be, give them a word, be with them, help them, do this, let's do this. Maybe together with the supervising engineer, that you are a part and parcel of what happens. I know a brother like this. I even saw him yesterday. If he does something like that, himself and the workers are working together. This is a good part of him. If he gives you a job, you will think he's also a carpenter if it's a carpentry work. He has this part, very good part of him. If he gives somebody a work, he will be with you till the end of that work. This is part of the sunnah of our deen. It's part of the sunnah. Of course, if you are not able to do it physically, you can employ somebody to do it for you. Yes, the job is being done. The artisans are doing the job. Or you have somebody, hey, come, you help me supervise this job. Put your hand into it. Get the job done as we want. So to put a helping hand in a job that is being done in your house is part of worship inside Islam. They came to repair your gates, and you are there with them. Oh, let's look at, why not here? Why not let's do it? They are there, they are doing it. They are professionals. Yet you are seeing it, you are having a hand, you are having a say, you are having a guide. Help them facilitate things they need to get the job done. This is part of the sunnah. They came to do something. Sometimes sockaway pits have issues, cesspits. You can guide them on how to get things done properly, so that you don't bring harm to the rest of your neighbors. So how does a Muslim, what does he gain if he has a hand in the repairs that are being done in his house or in the building? A building is being done for you from scratch. There's no blame. You are there. You know how the foundation was laid. Or you took a vehicle to the mechanic shop and you are there. You asking him, what did you do? Where did you put it? Where did you? And we know what mechanics do to cars these days. If you don't go with them, you know what, and people who, the artisans, they do to your house if you are not with them. You can tell them paint it white. They help you paint it light blue. So you'll be asking them, is this the white that I told you to paint? You say, no, I thought you said light blue. So if you are with them, some of these problems are very, very avoidable. You spend less, then you guarantee the quality of job done if you are there. And when you are there, they do the job differently from when you are not there. Artisans, When you are there, they do the job differently from when they are not there. I remember one of our brothers when he was building a house. They were arranging the blocks of the fence, and it was bent. New blocks being arranged. The fence was bent. And he was seeing it. He called and come, you come. The artisan, you come. Look at that fence. How is it was bent? Did you see that it was bent? Yes, I saw it. So why did you continue it? If he was not there, the bad job will continue, and in a month or two, the fence will fall. So there are a lot of advantages in supervising it yourself. You are there yourself. You know about everything regarding the house. Electrical cell. You know everything. Now, if you are not able to personally do it because of your daily schedules, you can employ somebody to do that on your behalf. Somebody you trust, whose judgments you trust. You, I trust your judgment. Do it for me. That person will be doing it on your behalf. And you'll be receiving reports from that person. Look at how beautiful our religion is. Even this kind of a matter, it has taught us a lesson. So that comes under Amalu Rajuli Ma'umali, a man's working together with the workers he has brought to his house for a particular job. And this will come under Hadith 448. Al-Imam Al-Bukhari said, Haddathana Abu Hafsin ibn Ali. قال حدثنا أبو عاصم قال حدثنا عمرو ابن وهب الطائفي قال حدثنا قطيف بن أبي سفيان أن نافع ابن عاصم أخبره أنه سمع عبد الله ابن عمرو وقال أنه سمع عبد الله بن عمرو قال لي لابن أخ له قال لابن أخ له خرج من الوقت أيعمل عمالك قال لا أدري قال أما لو كنت ثقفيا لعلمت ما يعمل عمالك ثم التفت إلينا فقال إن الرجل إذا عمل مع عماله في داره وقال أبو عاصم مرة في ماله كان عاملا من عمال الله إن الرجل إذا عمل مع عماله في داره أو في ماله كان عاملا من عمال الله. الله أكبر. Al-Imam Al-Bukhari reports this hadith from his Shaykh Abu Hafs ibn Ali. Abu Hafs ibn Ali is Amr ibn Hafs. Abu Hafs, he is Amr ibn Hafs al-Bahili. Rahimahullah, the Shaykh of Al-Imam Al-Bukhari in this hadith. Amr ibn Ali, Abu Hafs al-Bahili. He said, Haddathana Abu Asim. Abu Asim is also a Shaykh of Bukhari. So here, Al-Imam Al-Bukhari is reporting from his widely known as Abu Asim al-Nabil. Abu Asim al-Nabil. He is a Shaykh of Bukhari. But here, Al-Bukhari yarwi anhu biwasitatin. Al-Imam Al-Bukhari is reporting from him through an intermediary in this isnad. And that intermediary is who? Abu Hafs ibn Ali. So Al-Bukhari said, Haddathana Abu Hafs ibn Ali قال حدثنا Abu Asim, even though Abu Asim was one of his teachers. So he is reporting from his teacher what he did not hear from his teacher. He had heard it from someone who heard it from his teacher. Look at how fair the scholars of Hadith are. He is your teacher. Everybody, the whole world knew him to be your teacher. But this matter you want to talk about, you did not hear it from him directly. So you didn't say your teacher, our teacher told us. He didn't tell you. You were not there. You heard it from someone who heard it from the teacher. So Al-Bukhari rahimahullah is reporting it. The wasitati Abi Hafs ibn Ali, who said Haddathana Abu Asim al-Nabil. Shaykh al-Bukhari rahimahullah, he said Haddathana Amr ibn Wahab bin al-Ta'ifi. Amr ibn Wahab bin al-Ta'ifi. He said Haddathana Qutayf. In some prints you can find Gudaif, where the ta will be what? Badun. In some prints you find Gudaif. But in the print that I have here, it is Gudaif. If you go to the books of reporters of a hadith, is called by the two names. Some call him Gudaif, some call him Gudaif. So they are both correct. The reason I'm saying is that if I say Gudaif and I don't mention it, some of the young people here from Kalla may think that, oh no, it's not Gudaif, it is Gudaif. He is referred to both as Gudaif or what? Gudaif is referred to both as Gudaif and as Gudaif. So he is Gudaif ibn Abi Sufyan al-Thaqafi, or Gudaif ibn Abi Sufyan al-Thaqafi. Anna Nafi' ibn Asim. Nafi' ibn Asim is also what? Al-Thaqafi. So Gudaif is what? Thaqafi. Nafi' is what? Al-Thaqafi. What does that mean? They are from Banu Thaqif. Banu Thaqif is the tribe of Hajjaj bin Yusuf. I'm sure we know Hajjaj bin Yusuf. Banu Thaqif, they always stay in Taif. Just like if you talk about Al-Aws and Al-Khazraj, where do you talk about? Medina. When you talk about Banu Thaqif, where are you talking about? Taif. Taif has an airport today. Some brothers who came for Ramadan Umrah in Mecca, they came through the Taif airport. Likewise, I think some Hujjaj too came through the Taif airport. It's also close by to Mecca. I think it's about 2 hours journey from Taif to Mecca. So Taif, the dominant tribe there at that time was what? Banu Thaqif. So you would see Gudaif ibn Abi Sufyan is what? As-Thaqafi. Nafi ibn Asim is also what? As-Thaqafi. So why are we talking about Banu Thaqif and Taif? It will help us to understand this report better. So Banu Thaqif were resident in Taif. So Nafi was part of them. Gudaif was also part of them. But here Nafi ibn Asim said that Annahu Sami'a Abdullah ibn Amr. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As has a huge farm. He has a very big farm. The name of that farm is Al-Waht. The name of the farm of Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As is what? Al-Waht. Al-Waht is where? At Taif. The name of that farm is called what? Al-Waht. Where is it located? Taif. Where we have Banu Thaqif. Is it clear now? Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, that eminent companion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the son of a companion. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As is the son of Amr ibn al-As. They are both from the eminent companions. His father accepted Islam very late. Around the 7th or 8th year of Hijrah was when Amr ibn al-As accepted Islam. Just about 3 years before the Prophet died. As for Abdullah ibn Amr, he had accepted Islam right from the days of Makkah. He had accepted Islam. So there was now a very small age gap between Abdullah and his father Amr. The age gap was small. Some scholars say 10 years between father and son. Did we hear what I just said? Some of the scholars mentioned between Abdullah and his father as what? 10 years. So this will make us understand. Sometimes if we hear that our mother Aisha was 9, they grew faster. So between Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As and his father Amr ibn al-As was about 10 years. Some say 11. In any case, the age gap between them was small. So anytime the Prophet saw Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, he will always say to him, Ittabi abaka, obey your father, obey your father. Why? The age gap between them is very small, which can predispose a child to sometimes behave like a child. So you'll always tell him, obey your father, obey your father, obey your father, obey your father. Abdullah. And Abdullah, because Amr ibn al-As was a very exposed person, he was very rich and he was well traveled. Amr ibn al-As was very rich. He was an elite that time. Amr ibn al-As was an elite amongst the Quraysh. So that made his son, Abdullah, to be able to read and write. He was amongst the few Arabs who could read and who could do what? Write down what they read, or read what was written down. He was lettered. Abdullah was lettered. So he was amongst those who used to write the statements of the Prophet. If a statement came from he wrote it down. He used to document, writing down whatever the Prophet said, alayhi salatu. To the people that, to the extent that people began to blame him, is it everything the Prophet says that you write? Is every time Prophet is talking, you are writing? This shows that Abdullah was a very intelligent young man. He was taking down notes. That was why he became one of the very brilliant, most widely reported, who reported a hadith. One of them was who? Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. Why? When the Prophet was alive, he was documenting. Another person who was documenting was Abu Huraira, radiallahu anhu. So when people started telling Abdullah, is it everything Prophet said that you be writing? That's how people are. If you are upon a venture and people are complaining, don't mind them. You continue upon what you are doing. So he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told the Prophet that people are complaining to me that, is it everything you are saying that I'll be writing down? Is it everything you are saying that? Because the Prophet was a human being, sometimes he could speak out of joy, sometimes he could speak out of anger, sometimes. So why are you writing down everything? The Prophet said, alayhi salatu salam, to Abdullah, he said, Uktub, write. فَإِنَّهُ, he pointed to his mouth and said, فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهُ إِلَّا الْحَقِّ, because nothing will come out from my mouth except what? Al-Haqq. So Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As was always documenting what, and he had the document with him. The documents, it is known. He has a sahifa, a big document, compilation of the things, a hadith that he wrote when the Prophet was alive. So this story makes us understand that people have started writing down hadith right from the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad. People have started to write down hadith when? Right from the lifetime of the Prophet. And one of those who did that was who? Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. And like I said, he was a very exposed person. So he has a big farm in Ta'if. Amr ibn al-As, his son Abdullah, had a big farm, big in Ta'if. And he planted there a wood that was very expensive at that time. Some scholars say it has about 1 million units, alf units of wood that he produced from his farm. His father was rich. He was exposed. His father was exposed. His father taught him richness, how to make money too. From the sunnah you can teach children is how to make money and not allow the richness in the family to go down. So that you don't turn to become poor, start needing people's help when you are the one helping people yesterday. So that was what Amr ibn al-As taught his children. He taught them how to manipulate and expand wealth. So one of the things Abdullah did, he had a big farm. When he planted, he didn't plant mango and orange. He planted a wood that was expensive to get. He planted 1 million units. And he made a lot of money from it. So he will remain rich, and of course he would also transfer that richness to his children. This is encouraged in our religion, Islam. The only problem we have today is that it is just about how children can make money that we are always concentrate about. Look at Abdullah. He was not only concentrating about how to make money, he was also concentrating about documenting knowledge and transmitting knowledge in subsequent generations. I always blame anyone whose the entirety of his attention is how to manipulate money and make money. As for religion and knowledge of religion, he doesn't care. But look at Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. He was a balanced person. He documented knowledge and contributed to the knowledge of the religion. And then he made money and manipulated wealth and grew wealth. Of course, if you have a farm where you have a tree that's up to 1 million trees, you would have employed people. So he created wealth. Yes, the farm will have security. The farm will have farm workers. It will have farm equipment. So a lot of people will benefit from the wealth. So the fact that you're a scholar doesn't mean that you cannot look for a very good halal means to make good wealth. And you leave behind wealth, genuine halal wealth for your children. So this was what Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As did. So the place where Al-Wahd was where? Taif. So it would mean that the bulk of those who will be working in that farm will be from where? Banu Thaqif. I hope that we can connect it all now. So one day, he was saying to Li ibn Akhin Lahu, one of the children of one of his brothers, meaning one of his, if the Akh here is blood relative. Do you understand? Because sometimes they can say Akhun Lahu, and what they mean is Ukhuwa Diniya. But sometimes this appears as, and Allah knows best, that the brother here is brother from relatives, from a relative, one of the sons of his brothers, meaning one of his nephews. He was talking to one of his nephews, and he says to him, Ayamalu ummaluk, are your workers working? Are they working? The scholar said he asked him that question because of what he wanted to tell him. If your workers are working, then you should be with them to supervise that work or to put a hand at that work. Because of what he said, so he asked, are your workers working? He said, the man said, no, I don't know whether they are working now or they are not working. And then Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As said, Amma law kunta saqafiyan la'alimta ma ya'malu ummaluka. If you were from Banu Thaqif, you would have known whether your workers were working. But you are not from Banu Thaqif. Some scholars say one of what was known about Banu Thaqif is they are very hardworking people. That tribe of Hajjaj bin Yusuf. Hajjaj bin Yusuf himself was very hardworking at Thaqif. Was why at the beginning he was made to head the military. He was very known to be very hardworking, very brilliant, very well exposed. So those who rise easily, because Hajjaj rose very easily and fastly, because he was very, very experienced in so many things. It was common with Banu Thaqif. So he says, لَوْ كُنْتَ ثَقَفِيًّا, if you were from Banu Thaqif, لَعَلِمْتَ مَا يَعْمَلُ مَالُكَ, you would have known what your workers are doing, or whether they are working or not. Because they pay attention to work. But if you are like them, you will not say you don't know what your workers are doing. ثُمَّ الْتَفَتَ إِلَيْهِ. When he spoke to that young man, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As now turned to the rest of the people. One of whom was who? Nāsir ibn Asim. He turned to them, and then he said, radiyallahu anhu, inna ar-rajula, O people, the individual, إِذَا عَمِلَ مَعَ أُمَالِهِ فِي دَارِهِ, if an individual works with his umal, the workers, fi darihi, in his house or in his property. Abu Asim al-Nabil said, in his property. You have a property, you have a house, you have a farm, you have a garden, you have a company, you have anything, and you have workers there working. When you work with them, kana amilan min ummalillah. That time that he's working with them is one of the workers for Allah. You are working for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you work with those people, you help them, even if it be just advice. That block is not well placed. So please place the block properly. Oh, the rubber is not well in place. Oh, the tire is not well. But if you are repairing something on your tire, you go with them, you start checking. What did you put? Is it 40 or 45 or 35 or this? Oh, what should you like that? You join the mechanic man working on your car. Hey, where did you put it? Where's the boat? What was wrong with it? Why was it left? So where do you want to place it now? So this. Kana amilan min ummali. When you do that, you are a worker from among the workers for Allah. Why? Because you are helping the servants of Allah to earn a life. You are helping them to be able to do good, to be able to make earnings and return home happy, and not to have to come back tomorrow to do the job again. Not to be accused of falsely raising the price of the property or the work. You will be there by yourself. You will see it. Then you will appreciate giving them the money, because you will have seen how they suffered while doing the work. So you'll be encouraged to quickly pay them. When a person works together with the people that he has brought to his house or to his land or to his business to do the job, even if you're an office-based worker, you can go. You help the accountant. What are you doing? You are picking the files. Which files are those? And you help with a helping hand to it. When you are doing this, كَانَ عَامِلًا مِنْ أُمَّةِ the individual at that time is a worker from amongst the workers for Allah. Why? All those things that he is doing will help goodness. And then when you are with them, they don't fall lazy. Sometimes you see that when you are not with workers, they stop your work and they start eating. They start drinking. They rest under the shade. And by 6 p.m., they take 5:30 p.m., they say, we have finished work, we are going. We'll come and continue tomorrow. All of these things happen. If you're a field engineer, you know these things happen. So when you are there, or you employ somebody to be there because you are not able to be there because of your own schedules, then that is showing that you are from one of the workers for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? You will help establish goodness upon that job. And your being there will reduce any kind of impropriety that will be brought into the job. Maybe stealing money, stealing the cement. I remember a person who was given a job. He told us he needed 100 bags of cement. On the spot, we paid for 100 bags of cement. When he brought the cement, he brought only 30 bags. So I said, what was wrong with the other 70 bags? He said he'll be taking it gradually, until he takes all the 100. I said, because those people don't have 100 bags or what? He said, they have 100 bags. I said, go and bring the 100 bags here. Let me be seeing the 100 bags of cement. Because if he has 30 with him, and then he begins to take 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, it comes to become an argument between himself and the people. Even though those people selling may not have a problem, he may have a problem. And then distrust sets in, and then trouble starts. Even for me, I may not be counting the bags of cement. You brought 30, then 5. Then you will tell me that one day I went to Kano. He brought 50, he brought 30. And then I don't know. So where is the 30? I've used this, so I need another 50 bags of cement. So to avoid all of this, go and bring my 100 bags that I have paid for. Let me be seeing them, be carrying them one by one. So when you are there, you know that the job is properly done. And then no disservice, no impropriety, no distrust will come on that job. You need 30 bags of cement. I brought you 30 bags of cement. Or you'll be using it. And you would have, of course, warned the security not to allow them to take any single thing away from the place. So your being there has a lot of advantage. So that's why Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As told us that if a person is like this, kana amilan min umalillah, he is from amongst the workers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because your presence there when those workers are doing the job will ensure goodness, and it will remove all kinds of evil, whether in terms of thoughts or in terms of action. It will establish goodness and it will discourage any sort of evil. And you will be guaranteed that the job has been properly done. And that will encourage you to properly pay for the job that has been done for you by those workers that you have employed. I think it will be sufficient for us to stop here today, Abu Amir.
The first question here is, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have heard some thoughts we should say salam to snakes. If it moves away, we shouldn't kill it.
Yes. Not about saying salam, but about telling it to go out of the home. It was common in Medina. Like we said, there were Muslims amongst the jinns who will come as snakes. You see them as snakes, but they are jinns. They are Muslims. If you tell them, go out of your homes, they will go. They will go. Say, go out of my house, they will go. In fact, there are narrations that say that those kinds of snakes, they should be given up to 3 days to go. Go out of my house. They will go. In Medina, it was common. But many scholars say that that was restricted to Medina. Others say that it was a particular kind of snake. Well, we don't know them today. We don't know. We don't know. Except perhaps if we have to start searching. Or even those snakes may be restricted to Medina or the like of that. So perhaps if we have an opportunity to chase the snake away, we can chase it away. If it is possible. Chase it away from danger. The point is that don't leave a snake to become endangered. If you can chase it away, no problem. But if you can't chase it away and you leave it like that, it becomes a danger to you. Islam does not want you to endanger yourself. So if asking it a day, 2, 3 days is a problem too, chase it away. Hey, please go away. Because you don't know that specific one about which telling it to go away has been talked about. So chase it away if you can. If you can't chase it away, try to kill it. But danger must be put off. Qabla and to before it becomes a means of threat to you. That is the summary. It shouldn't be a means of threat to you. If you can chase it away, it doesn't become a means of threat to you, no problem. Because sometimes if you chase it away, it will remain around the house. It will remain somewhere in the compound. So chasing it away may not be sufficient to remove a future danger that it will pose to you. So you can kill it. Make good isti'adah and kill it. Don't be lily-livered. Arabs believe that if you kill the snake before Islam, they believe that if you kill the snake, it has a jinn. The jinn will come and kill you. We don't have any such belief. Me, I've killed many snakes. I remember when I was an imam in the university, the women's side of the masjid, a snake came there. I killed it. I'm still alive 20-something years after. So it doesn't mean these are thoughts of Jahiliyyah. Well, not too long ago, we killed a snake about 2 years ago. A big black snake. It was around the gate and rain was falling. So I went out to open the gate. I saw it just under by the gate. We killed it on the spot. It was a big black snake, heavy, because I carried it to go and throw it away. I used the stick to pick it up to throw it away. So snakes don't have any genes following them. If they have, let the genes to die with it if it's going to become a means of threat to you. That's why your adhkars must be strong at all times. At all times. Because sometimes you may kill it and it is a gene. Let it go away. Let that threat go away. That's similar to something that happened to our mother Aisha. Radiallahu anha. That's why women must not be lily-livered. Something like that was appearing to her. She killed it. To her room. Say, oh, why you the first time, first contact? She saw it again. She killed it. It was appearing perhaps like a snake to her. She had now had a dream that the jinns appeared to her and told her that you have killed a Muslim. Aisha radiallahu anha, you have killed a Muslim. She said, why was that Muslim coming to my house to see me? Does that Muslim not know that it is not appropriate to come to the house of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam? That was why I kill it. First point there was that Aisha was a woman. She was bold enough to kill a snake and ward off a threat. So it can come to you if you have the power, ability to kill it. If you can't, seek help to kill it. But don't leave that threat in your house. She killed it, but they could not come to her to harm her because adhkar are there. Although that snake, they told her in the dream that it was coming to learn from her. Whenever she was teaching, it was also learning. It was a jinn that came in the form of a snake or the like of that. So, and then she told it to her father, and her father, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, asked her to give sadaqah. So it went away. So sometimes it may actually be a snake. You need to kill it. Ward off the threats. That is the basic rule. That is the basic rule. You don't have to start saying salam alaikum for 3 days if it becomes a means of threat to you. Kill it. May Allah protect all of us.
Ameen. Ahsanallahu alaykum, Shaykh. Jazakumullah khair.
Ameen. Ameen.
The next one reads, regarding snakes, dreams about snakes and dreaming of fighting with a snake or trying to overcome a snake, could that have a strong meaning?
Just stick to your own adhkar. Stick to your adhkars in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the evenings, at all times. When you stand up, when you go forth, backwards. The Prophet ﷺ said to us, if you recite Ayatul Kursi in the night before you sleep, Allah will appoint an angel to protect you till the next morning. If you recite Lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fi al-ard, wa in tubdu ma fi anfusikum aw tukhfu yuhasibukum bihi Allah, up to the end, and then Amana Rasul, they suffice for you throughout that night. If you make wudu before you sleep, Allah will appoint a protector, a guide to guide you till you wake up. Do all these things. You don't have any fear. You are going out of your house in the morning, say Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Don't worry yourself. If the snake let it bite you in the middle of the night, you kill it in the night. If you see it in the morning too, you kill it again. I hope that it is clear. So don't be afraid of that. Just be strong with your adhkar. If the snake comes in the middle or in the dream, kill it. If it comes during the day, kill it too. And be strong upon your adhkar. All of these go to let us understand that we need to be doing things that will build our iman. Build your iman, don't be lily-livered. Everything threatens you. Don't be that kind of a person. Look at our mother Aisha. It came to say, look, use this thing, I will kill you. She killed it. They said in the dream, they came to meet her in the dream. She killed it in real life. They came to meet her in the dream. She said, why was it coming to my house? Look at her. Radiallahu anha. So don't be a lily-livered person. Everything is scaring you because you are not afraid of Allah. So you are afraid of the creatures of Allah. That is one of the repercussions of weak iman. If you are not fearful of Allah, you'll be afraid of everything. If you have sound iman, let that person do it. Let that snake or jinn do its works. You'll be sure to be safe from it. So then, the danger must be warded off. I've repeatedly said this. Don't keep a threat. Don't live a life that something is threatening you. Remove the threat. May Allah protect all of us. Abu Amir.
Amen. Amen. Salawatullah alaykum, Shaykh.
Amen.
Is renting a house for the family and not building also part of nafaqah that one will be rewarded for? I said, is renting a house for the family and not building also a part of nafaqah that one will be rewarded for?
It is part of the nafaqat, part of the expenses that you will be rewarded for being Allah. Just do it when you do it, not for show off. You do it not because you want to show off. You do it for a necessity, a need. You want to fulfill a need that is pressing, and the need itself is necessary. Bismillah, Allah will reward you for it.
Shaykh, ahsanallahu ilayk.
Ameen, ameen. Yeah.
Questions here. What is the rule with snakes?
You say what?
What's the ruling on trading with snakes, like rearing them and selling them for their venom and flesh?
All what we have said shows that the Muslim has no business with snakes. The Muslim, you have no business with snakes. Don't rear snakes. Don't handle snakes playfully, joking with them and handling them on all of this. When you do that, you are behaving like a person with a perverted natural instinct. Because the Prophet ﷺ made us understand that from the balanced natural instinct of human beings that Allah has created us is that we are discomforted with snakes. So how can you be rearing snakes and you are discomforted with snakes? Keep away from snakes. Rear a goat. Rear a sheep. Rear animals. Rear a camel. Rear a horse. Do you know that when you rear horses, goodness will come to you? There are hadiths inside Bukhāri. We are coming back to that in this book too, Al-Adab Al-Mufrad. Animals that we are encouraged to rear. Do you know the forehead of a horse? Allah has placed good luck on it, good fortunes. When you rear a horse, that's why rich men, you go to the north, very rich people have horses. And it was mentioned, I think, regarding Napoleon Bonaparte when he was fighting a war or something, one of these heads, and he was looking for an Arab red horse, a horse from the desert in the Jazeera, in Hijaz. He was looking for a horse from there. He believed this statement of our Rasul alayhi salatu salam when he said, Ma'kudun ala nasiyatil faras, mother, al-khair, goodness is tied to the forehead of a horse. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu salam, good fortunes are tied to the foreheads of a horse. So he requested for a red horse from the Arabian desert, hoping that he will climb upon that horse before he went for that battle. I wouldn't know whether it was Napoleon Bonaparte, but somebody from the French part of the world was going to a battle. And it was on that horse that he was riding. He was riding it upon a hope that the fortunes, good fortunes that are embedded in the forehead of a horse, I will buy that horse. It's also encourage us to rear a goat. You can rear a goat, you can rear a cow, you can rear a camel, you can even have cats. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them tawafun wa tawafat. You can do that. But for snakes, it's not even lawful to eat snakes. So if you are rearing snakes, what are you rearing snakes for? You see that what the end of that is that the person has a nature that is an instincts that are already perverted, something that you should hate to have anything to do with. It's the same thing that you are now caring about, providing it food and all of this. So don't rear snakes. You don't eat snakes. You don't have anything to do with snakes. In fact, there are hadiths where the Prophet encouraged us that wherever you find a snake, kill it. So why are you going to rear something that the Prophet said kill when you find? So let's not behave like non-Muslims. Let non-Muslims do their own thing. Let us practice our Islam. Lakum dinukum waliyadi. Is this clear to us, Abu Amir?
نعم شيخنا صلوات الله عليكم.
Amin, amin wa iya.
Someone is asking authenticity to the story of our father Adam and our mother Hawa regarding their exit from Al-Jannah through the deceit of Shaitan. Asking if it's in the form of a snake. And also, does this spread?
Some people say that Shaitan came in the form of a snake. We don't have any clear-cut evidence from the Quran or the Sunnah because we were not there. Abu Amir, were you there?
I wasn't, sir.
So we don't know, except we have a clear-cut from text from the Quran or a text from the Sunnah. That is what will make us believe it, that there was a snake. So that we don't know anything about a snake. Allah didn't tell us there was a snake. Allahu Alam. Ameen. There was a second question connected to that, I think, Abu Amir.
I think this has clarified.
It has been answered. Okay. Can we have this you want to give now as the last question for today?
I don't think I have any other related question. Yeah, other than not related.
Not related. Let's take one unrelated, inshallah. But I hope that the lesson is gotten, inshallah, about snakes, about expenses for building, and about working with workers. That's the main lesson today. So we can take one unrelated question, inshallah.
Naam, Shaykhana. So, sorry, just a second, sir.
Naam, go on, please.
Someone's asking about, okay, now, an elderly woman has just lost her husband while she is abroad for 3 months to take care of her grandchild. Can he observe the Iddah abroad and continue the remaining parts when she returns to Nigeria in her husband's house?
Where she's staying abroad, is it also under the care of her husband? Is it from the homes of her husband? If it is from the homes of her husband, then she should stay there too and complete it, if that's what she needs. But if it is not from the homes of her husband, then she should return to the home of her husband and continue. Is it clear to us?
No. Yeah.
Most so that in our own times, transiting may not be as easy. Maybe document issues, immigration issues, airfare issues might have held her away from home. So, but as soon as she can return home, then she should return, inshallah. Is this clear?
نعم شيخنا صلوات الله عليك.
Can we spend the time for another 38 minutes? We can stop here today, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته ومغفرته. جزاكم الله خير.
آمين آمين.